So this is all about transportation. I'll talk a little bit about flights and cruises just for a bit. We're going to really focus on the drop down when it comes to transportation. So I look here and I see I have some flights, I have other bookings, as well as this cruise. So to take a look at what the flight looks like inside, I have one record locator, an airline, flight number, and I've got my departure arrival city and the times and passenger info. I need at least one record locator and nothing else in that box. If you have multiple record locators, you're going to want to put those in the note section below. If you want to label this, you can certainly do so. Don't put it in the record locator box, but I would put it to the side and add that in the additional title info box. So let's try to see what you'd look like. What it would look like for you to just put in the beginning of that flight. So here you'll see it's labeled. So I'm going to insert new above, go to air. Just again, one record locator. And do TK for Turkish Airlines. Add my flight number 186. And then I just want to make sure I'd have the right departure day. And then I would just hit the get flight details box. And you just want one passenger name at least. And then it's up to you if you want to add frequent flyer miles or ticket numbers, that sort of thing. All right. And for the cruise portion, you'll see these different ports. I like to think of a cruise like an accordion. It's all connected, kind of spreads out. So if I open this up, I can see cabin info and then different ports. So what I would do to look this up is I'll just hit cancel there. So under October 20, I would insert new above, select cruise, and then start with the name of the cruise line, Silversea, and then 2022 and 20. And these different things will populate. So if that had been the case, I'd do Silversea Cruise 2022 10. And you see these items, these different cruises that have populated, you can pull that through. And then just what it looks like on the web view. So you've got the flights on the way there. The return flights. And then you have the start of the cruise. Cabin info, and then the different ports. You'll notice in that first flight that that person's name is labeled. So you can definitely add to that additional title info box. Okay, now let's spend time looking at the different transportation drop-down booking types. So I'm going to start with the ferry. So under October 19, I'm going to insert new below, and I'm going to select transportation. And I want to go to this transit type drop down here, and I want to select ferry. If I select ferry, these options pop up. If I were to select transfer, these would pop up here. So going back to ferry. So my service provider is Greek Islands. I can add a confirmation number if I need to, departure time, and then where I depart and where I arrive. So departing Athens, arriving in Mykonos. And again, more information if needed. Maybe it's been prepaid. So you can add that info. And then you'll just want to save. So you'll see here, under October 19, it says Ferry Greek Islands. If you want to kind of incorporate more and just kind of add, you know, where they're starting, where they're going, you could certainly add to that service provider field and add extra phrases or wordings after that. So you could say Greek Islands from Athens to Mykonos. It's almost like you're kind of spelling it out. So now you have ferry Greek Islands from Athens to Mykonos. So it's kind of just right there, all the information, kind of where you're starting and where you're going. So if I were to look at that on the web view, reload my page to get that newest info for October 19, and it's there. So you kind of have it in the title. Again, the departure and arrival. All right. So next, let's take a look at rail. Let's say at the very end of the trip, they've decided to extend, like instead of going back to Chicago, they're going to add, or maybe right at the very end, something like that, they've decided to go quickly to another country. So we're just going to add this plus new booking across from Friday, October 28th. And we're going to put in transportation again. And for the transit type, this time I'm selecting rail. So I've got these things that pop up. And departing from Milan, arriving in Venice. My service provider is Trenitalia. Putting in some times here. And again, you know, it's kind of up to you how much information you want to add. So for rail, it just says rail Trenitalia. So in the same vein, I can go in, if I kind of want to spell out where they're going, I can just put from Milan to Venice after that specific service provider, and then save. So I've got rail Trenitalia from Milan to Venice. So looking at it here on the web view, there it is. However, maybe I want to change it up. So I can certainly do that. So I could just copy and kind of remove those words. So rail, and I could add from Milan to Venice with Trenitalia to kind of make it more of a better phrase. So now it's kind of a continuation. So rail from Milan to Venice with the Trenitalia. And just reloading or refreshing my page. So there it is. Just a nice way to showcase the information, to make sure you're taking care of, you know, where they need to go, where they're coming from, where they need to go next. There's just a lot of moving parts and helps you get from one city, one country to the other. Next, we can look at rental cars. So under October 18, I'm going to insert new above, or let's see here. Actually, I think that actually would be the flight arrival would actually be probably on the 18th, since that was +1. So just kind of looking at my timeline here. So I think my booking would be go between. So insert new below. Transportation, I'd select that. And then I'm going to select rental car. So my service provider is Europcar. And I'm going to pick it up at the airport, and drop it off probably at the airport as well. You could add pickup address, drop off address, the time if it applies. If there's no time, I would put maybe like upon, so like arrival time, upon arrival, like when the plane were to arrive or something like that. If you have a specific pickup time or drop off time, so drop off day, we can absolutely select that. And let's say the drop off time is 7 a.m. If it's a specific time, you should put that in. If you don't know a time, I would just leave it blank, or you could add some notes below. But here, it's important that you just do a specific time, hour, colon, you know, minute, space, AM or PM. So just kind of keeping it to that format. And let's say renting a sedan. Again, as much or little information as needed. Okay. So to kind of take a look at what that looks like. So under Monday, October 17, it says here that it's 13 days for a rental car. So before we take a look at the web view, let's actually take a look. Let's actually add a reminder to return the car. So on the 29th, I'm going to do insert new above. And this time I'm going to use other/notes. And in the top here, I'm just going to say reminder, return rental car today, or maybe it's like at 7 a.m. Or you could just put the time below as well. So So now I've added it to October 29 so that I can remind myself, okay, I need to return it before I hop on my flight. And then now to just take a look at those on the web view. So under that that flight, you know what? I need to actually change that rental car down under the 18th. And then I make sure it says the 18th, pick up on the 18th. Drop off day is the 29th. So it's very easy to drag and drop bookings. Yeah, so you can literally drag and drop, drag and drop. So now I've got the flight, and then after that I have the rental car, and the days are the 12 days. Okay, so things look better. So I'm just going to reload my page. Okay, so now I have that second flight or first flight on the 18th, or the flight rather from Istanbul to Athens. And so I've got before the hotel, I have a rental car for 12 days. And then if I go down below, just on that 29th, I just have a reminder to return the car. So it's just there within my bookings. And it's detailed in on the itinerary. Okay. So we've got obviously a flight, cruise, those are, and then in the drop down itself, we've got the rail, we have a rental car, we have a transfer, let's see here. So for transfers, we can certainly add a transfer. So let's say insert new below, click on transportation, and the fourth one, transfer. Do transfer. Let's call it L services. And we're going to depart from the specific port and arrive at the hotel. Hit save real quick. So we just have just says transfer L services. Right. I can also go in if I want and just be a little more specific. Departure location is that port there. And then if I'd like, I can go in and also add the specific hotel name. And on here. So we arrive at the hotel. And you just saw how simple that was, just transfer with L services. So similar to what we've been doing before, I'm going to transfer from, I could just say here, port to hotel with L services. Let's say this was a luxury type service. You know, you could add luxury if you want here. Or you could just kind of move the word luxury around if you need to. Transfer luxury from port to hotel with L services, or transfer from port to hotel with L luxury services, or kind of play with it and kind of see where it fits best without, obviously we don't want to mess with the company name. So just kind of figuring that out of what works best. But let's say you really want to make sure whether it's like a luxury car, a luxury service, luxury driver, or just even a chauffeur, you really want to make that point. Or maybe this is even a taxi and you're just trying to get, you know, taxi from the hotel to the port. So here, insert above, I'm just going to go, instead of transportation, I'm actually just going to use other /notes. So if it was a taxi, it is in the title here, I'm going to say taxi and space from hotel to port. Just that simple. If I have any notes to add below, I can certainly add that. Let's say it's 10 a.m. So taxi from hotel to port. I could also, like, let's say it was a luxury car service. I could spell that out kind of. So luxury car service with chauffeur. I could add that in the title. 9:45 a.m. Leave luggage in hotel room. Take care of it for you. So I could certainly add kind of what I want to those titles to kind of just show exactly what info I'm trying to get across. So if you need something with luxury, that's where I would really just use an other /notes booking and incorporate what you want in that title. Similarly, let's say you have a charter flight and you're wanting to add that information. If there was a flight, I would insert new below. And then I would do other /notes. And just in the title, charter flight from, you know, Athens to, I don't know. Just whatever you're doing, I would just kind of spell it out. You know, 10:30 a.m. And then any notes needed below. You can certainly add that, but just, I would just add, to make it that simple, I would just add that in the title. So looking again on the web view. We've got our taxi from hotel to port, 10 a.m., luxury car service with chauffeur, 9:45 a.m., leave luggage in hotel room. Just really simple things they need to do, but it's, you know, to the point and it's part of the day-to-day. So it just helps get that information across. All right, any questions?